Yay Networks.
You know, a lot of people are scared to keep it real once that microphone cuts on. Not me. My name is D1. I'd like to welcome you to the Mission Vision Podcast with D1. We're going to be talking about everything. Oh, I'm talking about God, purpose, spirituality, keeping it real, you know what I mean? Love, relationships. I'm talking about personal finance, getting your money right, keeping your money right, growing and multiplying it, keeping it really, really, really real, and much more, y'all. All from your boy D1. Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mission Vision Podcast with your boy, D1. Today, we're talking about Kevin Samuels and what kind of legacy we are leaving down here on this earth. Kevin Samuels is dead, in case y'all don't know who he is. Popular YouTuber, was heavy on Instagram, spoke about relationships, very controversial, very polarizing brother. I would think that a lot of y'all who are listening to this do know who Kevin Samuels is, or you know now since he's passed away, because his passing has gotten a lot of attention. Kevin Samuels is dead, y'all. I have a song called Kevin Samuels because about a year ago, some of my boys in Los Angeles put me on to him. I had no idea who he was. They told me about some of his stances and viewpoints on relationships. The first video I ever saw of him was a video where he was saying that a lot of women feel like if they have a master's degree or a PhD or they make a certain amount of money, that like qualifies them, that matters, you know, to men. And he was like, to a certain caliber of a man, none of that stuff matters, you know, like that stuff isn't a prerequisite to making you a more desirable woman. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I did a song based on that concept and actually clarifying, you know, for a person like myself, what is appealing, you know? So I called the song Kevin Samuels, and it was motivated by my viewpoints on that topic as well as this video that he did. So long story short, y'all, now that Kevin Samuels has passed away, I'm not sure about the details about how exactly he passed away. There's things floating around about what happened to him potentially. But now that he passed away, it is absolutely, let me say this again. Now that Kevin Samuels has passed away, it is absolutely deplorable. It is absolutely whack to see so many people happy that he passed away and making all these jokes about the fact that he's passed away and people saying, oh, God don't like ugly, so this is what God did. Stop throwing that on God as if, hey, you know why this man passed away and you know what God was thinking and saying that God, you know, killed this man. Stop. That's not cool at all. And I understand that some people felt played. Some people felt called out and disrespected by the way Kevin Samuels would deliver his videos and deliver his messages while he was down here. And it's okay. Listen, as a man of God, as a woman of God, it's okay to not like someone or to disagree with someone's viewpoints on things, but to ultimately still say that, like, yo, I have love for anyone that's a part of the human race, just in general. That's how we're supposed to be. That's how we're called to be. So when I see people that are just quick to want to make memes, quick to want to be disrespectful towards this man's passing, this man is dead, that says a lot about these people. And, you know, that's unfortunate. I didn't agree with everything Kevin Samuels said or represented, and I didn't agree with the way he always delivered his messages, but I did agree with things that he said. And I did agree with a lot of times the way he would approach these topics in a bold manner, not afraid to just keep it real. I'm like, man, this dude is saying what a bunch of dudes feel, but dudes just don't want to say it out loud because for fear of getting blasted, you know, by women. But I'm like, this dude, he's speaking his mind on this stuff and he's speaking for a lot of people. So definitely he was a very polarizing figure. But look, at the end of the day, man, it just says a lot if we are down here and we're more preoccupied with that than what he was actually trying to teach us and what he was actually trying to bring about, which is basically saying, this is what I gather from Kevin Samuels overall. Adjust your expectations according to what you bring to the table and be honest about what you bring to the table. When he would be talking to people and saying, okay, what do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? Based on how they look, based on how old they are, based on if they have kids or not, based on all these different factors, and he's asking them to rate themselves. I'm seeing some people who, they're like, well, uh, never mind, yo. I'm just thinking in my head, I'd be watching these videos sometimes thinking like, yo, these people are really thrown off in terms of how they're rating themselves or what they think about themselves and versus what they want, versus his main thing was a lot of people are single because what they want doesn't match up with what they bring to the table. And no one will sit there and be honest with them about what they actually are bringing to the table. You can't be the only person that feels like you bring something to the table, especially in categories like looks or in categories like how desirable is your personality or is your past when it comes to a potential partner. That's not up to you to just decide. That's up to the pool of people who will potentially be deciding to want to be with you. So that would upset people a lot of times. And then people would be upset by his videos that he would put out, where he would be on Instagram and do the split screen with him speaking to a woman. Oftentimes he would get disrespectful in people's mind towards these women, or they say he would clown these women, right? But my thing was, these women are calling in on their own. And after a while, once he developed a reputation and a following and his brand was kind of built on, these women who call into his show, he's liable to say anything to them. He's liable to tell them something that's going to really, be shocking and have people laughing at them or whatever. Once this becomes the narrative that accompanies this man's brand, then why do people keep calling in and acting shocked when that happens? So secretly deep down, I do think that he was exposing a lot of insecurities and a lot of things that women would rather not have a man speaking on when it came to them. Because it's like, oh no, a man don't deserve to tell me that, or a man don't deserve to say that he's the prize, to be sought after, or a man doesn't deserve to tell me that I'm not on this level physically, as far as my attraction level in his eyes. Forget what you think about yourself. What are you in the eyes of the beholder? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women, I think, had issues with that. So that's Kevin Samuels in a nutshell. What I do want to make sure that we talk about today is also what kind of legacies are we leaving behind? So the legacy that Kevin Samuels has left behind is interesting to me, how it is overwhelmingly revolving around how he delivered his messages, more so than even what his messages were. And I think there's a subsection of the population who can, and I know this from going to church, that there's things that a pastor might do or say, or certain type of just dramatics, and all that stuff, that I'd be like, all right, cool. That stuff doesn't really resonate with me. I can look past some of that stuff and actually get to the meat of what you're delivering. And if you're delivering some real food for thought, if there's something to be learned, if there's some teachable moments in here, then I'm able to decipher that and pull that out of whatever the delivery is, that you that accompanies this message that you're putting out there. Not everybody can do that. Some people got caught up on his delivery. Some people got caught up on saying, man, this man just hung up in this woman's face on Instagram Live. The legacy that he's left behind, I would challenge people to actually go in and actually listen to and dissect the content more so than just the delivery. Because if you only focus on the delivery, it's going to have you feeling like some women felt when I put a song out called Kevin Samuels. Some women said, D, I love you. I love everything that you do. But because of the title of this song, I can't listen to it. Shh, y'all, we better than that. Because of the title of this song, the song is called Kevin Samuels, I can't listen to that. That mean that man is touching on a very sensitive spot in your spirit. You know what I mean? To have it to where you wouldn't even listen to a song from one of your favorite rappers just because of the title. You ain't even heard what the song is about. The song ain't even about him. That's interesting to me, yo. So when we think about what kind of legacies we leave, we got to think about how we make people feel, not just what it is that we do. What we represent is one thing, but how we make people feel, that's oftentimes going to last way longer than what it is we do. In the second segment, when I come back, I'm going to talk about what kind of legacy are you leaving? What kind of legacy am I leaving? And what are we building these legacies based on? And I got something that y'all don't want to miss, all right? I see y'all in a second. Oh, no. I'm excited to talk to y'all about the sponsor for this week's episode, BetterHelp. BetterHelp, y'all. I'm gonna start out by telling y'all this. I don't know if you know this or not, but I go to therapy. D1, I go to therapy, and I literally go through BetterHelp.com for therapy. In case you don't know what it is, it's something that these are licensed professional counselors who can help you with everything from depression to stress to anxiety to relationships to trauma from the past to anger, family conflicts, all this type of stuff. Everything you share is confidential. It's convenient. It's online therapy. I literally utilize this, and it has been drastically helping me with some areas that I, just recognized that I needed to add some value to my life. It's great. I want y'all to check them out. I want you to start living a happier life today. So as a listener, you will get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/MV. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/MV. Peace. Yo, we back for segment 2 of the Mission Vision podcast with D1. Today we talking about Kevin Samuels and the legacies that we are leaving down here on earth. I should have done this in the first segment. I mentioned that I have a song called Kevin Samuels. So I just want to rap some of it for y'all. And I figure if I spit this, that'll be real cool. That'll give y'all some context as to what my song was about. So let me see if I could do a beat on the table and see if that's going to transfer to the microphone. Let's see. All right, check. I know that I come with a lot, but can you deal with me? Cause I gotta be with a woman that's down to build with me. I spent almost half of my life becoming who I am. I postponed kids and a wife to execute my plan. Now look at me, it worked, but I ain't done climbing. I'm trying to do this with you, but you can't be sometime. And I promise that I'm gonna be faithful and treat you with respect. And far as money, you ain't gotta work. I'm getting these checks. See, I respect the business women out there killing it. But if we both some workaholics, I ain't feeling it. You willing to put in all that time into a job you hate. Meanwhile, I ask you for some help, but yet you hesitate. Your job title and your power make you feel enamored. And you must think that working with me is below your standards. I never up for your dreams, but Jordan and Kobe, they couldn't have been on the same team. You say you want a powerful man, a high achiever, but can you support that type of man in the way that he needs you? I'm the new school Chuck D. Shout out PE, my teachers. I don't think you want that. Go find you a PE teacher. Seriously, you should find somebody that's beneath you. Our synergy, not your salaries, will make you a keeper. Yeah, I just need someone attractive that's a team player. Cause a beautiful, curvy distraction, that's a dream slayer. And I don't need nobody preaching at me all day. I'm not your congregation, I'm your man and you my babe. All right, I got more, y'all. But anyway, that's just a couple little samples. The song Kevin Samuels was inspired by a video that I saw from Kevin Samuels, which I told y'all in the first segment. But right now, Kevin Samuels is no longer here in the physical form. He passed away recently. And all we have left behind once we leave Earth in the physical form is our content that we created and is the way that we made people feel. So I want to challenge all of us in this segment to self-reflect. What kind of legacies are we leaving? Right now, with what you're doing, with the way you're treating people, with the content that you are producing, with the way that you are being a family man or a family woman, with the way you are at your job, what kind of legacies are we leaving if it all ended today? Are we leaving a legacy that is going to make people feel like we truly love them and that we truly made this world a better place? Are we leaving a legacy that's going to make people say, yo, we were just all about money by any means necessary. We were just on a never-ending paper chase. Most importantly, when we ask ourselves, what kind of legacies are we leaving? Do our legacies involve God? Unfortunately, many of the legacies that we are leaving behind do not involve God. God is simply a role player in our lives. God is like an accessory, unfortunately, in many of our lives. So when I think about a person like Kevin Samuels, for example, We think about a person who clearly had something he was passionate about, speaking about relationships, speaking about love, right? And the thing is, we can do anything in this world and be passionate about it, but we have to ask ourselves, do we include God in that or do we exclude God in it? In some ways, whatever we do, we can intimately and we can overtly include God into it. We can mention God's name. We can make sure that we point people back to God. And in some ways, what we do, it might not be that easy to always include God in what we do. It just may not ultimately make sense, right, when it comes to that stuff. But, we can sure include God in it by being godly in the way that we go about doing these things. Making sure that we incorporate godly principles, godly morals, godly values in the way that we go about whatever our craft is and whatever we're putting our time and energy into. So if God is love, then we have to ask ourselves, are we incorporating love into what we do? If God is about being a person who is always for the betterment, of the world at large, are we doing what we do to ultimately better and add value to other people's lives? Are we going about it in the way Jesus would have gone about relating to people, not being judgmental, but also not conforming to whatever was going to just make him most popular? Are we just trying to get popular by any means? These are self-reflection questions. Because if we spend a lifetime down here trying to be popular by any means necessary, then the legacy that we're leaving is something that is very selfish. Self-ish means it's very much revolved around self. And ish that has to do with self. A very selfish legacy is what we're leaving behind when we truly think about it with a lot of us. And hopefully I'm speaking to people right now who are like, D, now that you're saying that, I have to rethink how I'm going about doing what I'm doing. That's the goal of this, is to really think on what kind of legacy we're leaving, because the legacies that matter at the end of the day, it's like, there's eternal implications to our earthly existence. It doesn't just end here. It's not just this surface level, this one-dimensional realm that we live in. That's not the case at all. That's not the case at all. There's eternal implications to our earthly existence. So when we think about the legacies that we're leaving, don't exclude God from your life. Don't exclude God from your craft. Don't exclude God from your content. And I don't want to just tell you that as if I'm preaching to you, but I want to give context as to why. And the why is something that makes a lot of sense to me. It's because there is a realm after this. There is literally more to life than what we can just see around us. Just like there's more to us than what we can see on us. There's more to life than what we can see around us, just like there's more to us than what we can see on us. I'm definitely more than just my 6-foot frame with dreadlocks, with a New Orleans accent, light skin. There's so much more to me than just what you can see on me. There's what's inside of me. There's my spirit. There's my soul. Same thing with this world that we live in. There's more to it than just what we can see with binoculars or what we can book a flight to and travel to. And with that being said, when we expand our mind and our horizon gets bigger to where we understand that this life is not just about the temporary satisfaction and pleasures that's associated with being lit or, YOLO in it. You feel me? Once we understand that, and once we truly understand that, like, dang, the legacy that I should be leaving should actually be something that not only includes God, but that as much as possible represents, glorifies, and magnifies God. Not just includes God. So when we think about what we're doing, the challenge, I think, is to not be so selfish. The challenge is to how to actually do what we're doing and want to be great at whatever our craft is and be excellent at it, but to always still keep God at the forefront. If God is your why, if pleasing God is your why, if not letting God down is your why, then it's very much easy for God to be at the forefront of what you're doing. If pleasing God is truly your why. If pleasing God is not your why for why you do what you do, why you're going so hard, then you're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You got to ask yourself, whoa, am I just living life one-dimensionally? Am I living life the real shallow way? And that's the part that I don't want you to fall victim to. I promise you I don't want you to fall victim to that. Because now Kevin Samuels is dead. And whatever impact he made here on earth and whatnot, guess what? There's eternal implications to it now. And those eternal implications have to do with, was God a part of what you had going on? And there's no, oh, well, let me hold on, let me fix this. Let me go run it back. You know, we could press delete and start over if we're recording this podcast right now. We could say, oh, man, I'm going to run that back. You know, if I'm in the studio recording a new song and I don't like how my voice sound on a certain take, we can't just say, oh, let me run that back when it comes to life. This the Mission Vision Podcast with D1, all right? I'll see y'all after the break. What up, y'all? We back. It's your boy D1. And for this last segment as we wrap up, we're talking about Kevin Samuels and we're talking about what kind of legacies are we leaving down here on earth. I want to conclude by saying this. For the people who are happy and celebrating on social media the fact that Kevin Samuels is dead, I think that's deplorable. I don't think that that's dope by any means. I don't think it's funny as far as people making memes and all that type of stuff. Just like I didn't think it was dope when he would be overtly disrespecting women, you know, at times with his content, right? I didn't think that was dope either. But we don't fight hate with more hate. We don't fight evil with more evil. So that's my stance on that. I definitely want y'all to also, I want to challenge you to think about what kind of legacy you are leaving down here on earth, because we put so much energy and attention into what other people are doing and what they're not doing right that we got to look in the mirror, yo. I challenge you, I dare you to truly look in the mirror and ask yourself, what kind of legacy are you leaving? What are you representing? If you representing something just as shallow as what you're criticizing, then two wrongs don't make a right. And at the end of the day, it's only one God. So two wrongs definitely don't stack up to this one God that we got. Straight up. So I just want to challenge y'all to just be better. There's so many teachable moments in life. I want to challenge myself to be better. I want to challenge all of us to just keep striving for greatness in all aspects of life with that mission vision that I speak about. Having that mission vision is just knowing and understanding you were put here for a purpose, knowing who put you here, which is God, and understanding that your vision to fulfill the purposes that were designed for your life is contingent upon understanding how to block out distractions. A lot of what goes on around us is just noise. It's not edifying your spirit. It's not challenging you to become better. That's the thing about Kevin Samuels' content, is it was challenging people oftentimes to become better. And some people would argue that that wasn't his role to call people out or to say this or to say that. But ultimately, at the core of it, whenever we trying to hold people accountable for something in life, accountability is often seen as an attack. And that's not how it's supposed to be. But when we are taking the role of holding people accountable, we have to be careful of how we are delivering that accountability. Because if we're holding them accountable and we're delivering it in such a way that doesn't come across like it's rooted in love, then that accountability can be thrown out the window and deemed as just hate or disrespect. So there's something to be learned from this for sure. So I want to say rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. I want to send love and prayers out to his family and to his close friends and to anyone that he's left behind. I do want to thank him for making us pay attention and bringing up some uncomfortable conversations and some uncomfortable topics that needed to be discussed in this world. And now it's on us to continue these conversations in a healthy, productive manner. And more so than anything I just said, I just want to challenge you to include God in whatever it is that you have going on. Because the legacy that you're leaving is being written every day based on what you stand for and based on what you represent. And I don't want anyone to take their last breath on this earth and to not have it be something that was infused with wanting to live for God and represent God, all right? So I love y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. Make sure that you subscribe, you heard me? Make sure that you are following the podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify Podcasts. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you go and continue to stream the Mission Vision Podcast with D1. I got more episodes on the way. I got more fire in the chamber, and I can't wait to keep growing with y'all. And go on my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts were. Go and rate this podcast, please. Go and rate it. Please, let's leave us a fire rating. We would greatly appreciate that as we are building over here. And this is new for me, y'all. In case y'all don't know, I haven't been podcasting for half of my life. I've been rapping for about half of my life at this point, but haven't been podcasting for it. So it's like, this is new. And as I continue to grow, I thank you for being a part of this journey with me. I love y'all. Be real, be righteous, be relevant. Yeah. All right, now that's the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week, I got some more heat for y'all. This your boy D1 with the Mission Vision Podcast. Remember, Mission Vision is a lifestyle, so keep those threes up everywhere you go and be real, be righteous, and be relevant. Make sure that you subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, whatever you got to do on Spotify, whatever. Like, comment, share this thing everywhere, and most of all, tell somebody about it and tune in, and you just be blessed. I'll see you real soon. Peace.